Yuya had always been the target of ridicule. Overweight, unattractive, and a social outcast. One evening, Yuya stumbled upon a mysterious door that led to another world. As he crossed the threshold, a system message appeared, granting him access to a cheat leveling system. In no time, Yuya found himself transformed into the most attractive guy in his school. Yuya had once tried to save a girl he admired from a group of menacing thugs in an alley. Despite his courage, his pleas were met with scorn and violence. The thugs beat him mercilessly, leaving him humiliated in front of the girl he wanted to protect. The police eventually arrived, but the damage was done. As Yuya lay there, he realized this kind of treatment had become the norm for him. Bullied at school, mistreated at home, he was trapped in a life of misery. The bullying escalated in middle school. His grandfather, who had been his only source of comfort, was tragically killed in an accident, leaving Yuya a substantial fortune. When his parents discovered they couldn't claim the inheritance, they abandoned him, forcing Yuya to fend for himself through part-time jobs. Years of torment culminated in a particularly harsh graduation day. Yuya's notebook was filled with threats and insults, and as he tried to flee from his bullies, they caught up to him, beating him down in front of everyone, including his sadistic siblings. Fired from his job for being late, he was left utterly broken. With his last bit of money, he bought a bowl of ramen and stared at his reflection in the cold broth. Anger and despair overwhelmed him, and in a fit of rage, he smashed the mirror with his fist. As he pounded the wall in frustration, a strange door materialized. Curious and desperate, Yuya entered and found himself in a room filled with magical objects. Another door stood in the center, which he opened, triggering a system message that granted him various skills for entering this new world. Among his new abilities was a skill to convert game objects into useful items. Yuya was at level 1, the lowest starting point, but the beautiful world outside filled him with a renewed sense of purpose. A note in an unfamiliar language lay on a table, and a system notification granted him the ability to read it. The note explained that the house and its contents were now his, protected by a magical spell from invaders. Exploring further, Yuya discovered an overpowered sword and decided to test it. His initial attempts were clumsy, but he quickly gained the swordsmanship skill. Not satisfied with just one weapon, he experimented with various legendary armaments, gaining more skills and confidence. Late into the night, while training, a giant red ogre attacked. Protected by the house's magical barrier, Yuya used his newfound skills to assess the ogre's strength. It was a level 300 beast, formidable and terrifying. Mustering his courage, Yuya used a spear to launch a powerful attack, creating a void in the ogre's stomach and bringing it down. Exhausted but triumphant, Yuya collapsed, only to be promoted to level 100 by the system. Investigating the ogre's corpse, he collected rare loot and returned home. The system then allowed him to convert the items into thousands of dollars, a small fortune that would change his life. That night, as Yuya slept, his body underwent a painful transformation. Every neuron, every cell, was reformed, preparing him for the challenges ahead. Yuya's journey from a bullied loner to a powerful hero had just begun, and with his new abilities, he was ready to face whatever came next. His journey led him to discover mysterious fruits with remarkable properties. Drawing on his agricultural expertise, Yuya cultivated these plants in his backyard, unveiling their ability to cure diseases and enhance his abilities significantly. Amidst his study, a menacing giant slime appeared, but Yuya, with practiced ease, dispatched it with a thrown spear from his void box. Among the spoils left behind, Yuya found a legendary necklace, adorning it to further amplify his newfound confidence. Converting the remaining items into funds, he indulged in new attire, embracing his evolving identity. With each passing day, during one fateful stroll through the fields, Yuya encountered a lurking goblin, poised for an ambush. Utilizing his honed agility, he deftly dodged the creature's assaults and swiftly dispatched it. Despite his burgeoning strength, Yuya harbored lingering apprehension about confronting his past tormentors upon returning to high school. The following day, as he walked to school, Yuya's stunning transformation garnered shocked reactions from his peers. Assuming they admired someone behind him, he took his seat in class, only to be confronted by his former bullies. Revealing his true identity left the class dumbfounded, including his own siblings, who couldn't reconcile the hot persona with the Yuya they knew. In a moment of clarity, Yuya fled to the bathroom, grappling with the realization that he had become the epitome of confidence and attractiveness, much to his disbelief. At day's end, his bullies and siblings demanded answers about his transformation, casting doubt and scorn upon him. However, a limousine arrival heralded the appearance of a girl with red eyes, Kaori, who sought to thank Yuya for saving her. Kaori's proposition to attend her prestigious school, Aoi Academy, left Yuya overwhelmed with gratitude. His siblings pleaded for admission, but Kaori, aware of their mistreatment of Yuya, denied them. She reassured Yuya that his character mattered more than academic prowess, extending a hand of friendship and guidance. Upon entering Aoi Academy, Yuya was greeted warmly by the principal, Kaori's father, who praised his courage and character. Despite Yuya's doubts, the chairman emphasized the value of self-discovery and growth, encouraging him to embrace the opportunity. A particularly enticing offer from a renowned teacher, promising a hands-on anatomy lesson, piqued Yuya's curiosity. Nervous yet intrigued, he prepared for the class, anticipating a new chapter in his extraordinary journey. As the day unfolded, Yuya found himself welcomed into a community that valued learning over cruelty, marking a stark contrast to his previous experiences. In the company of newfound friends, Yuya savored the hospitality of Aoi Academy, relishing in the camaraderie and support extended to him. Reflecting on his day with the principal, he marveled at the kindness shown to him, reaffirming his belief in the transformative power of acceptance and friendship. Despite the principal's assurance of his worthiness, Yuya couldn't shake his uncertainty about belonging in Aoi Academy. Grateful for the principal's words, he resolved to continue attending. As he exited the office, Yuya was surprised to find Kaori waiting for him. She invited him to go shopping, a rare offer given her father's position. Yuya's heart raced with excitement, though he concealed his emotions behind a facade of calmness. During their outing, Yuya hid his protein shake inside a cream bun, a secret indulgence. To his surprise, Kaori consumed it, prompting his curiosity about her perceptiveness. She explained that she recognized his eyes, unchanged despite his physical transformation, leaving Yuya touched by her attention. In a moment of intimacy, Kaori requested Yuya to address her by her first name, signaling a deeper connection between them. As their rapport blossomed, Yuya's heart swelled with affection, culminating in a climactic confession of his feelings. Returning to the other world, Yuya donned his overpowered armor, ready to face new challenges. Despite lingering fear, his training instilled him with courage, propelling him forward. Venturing beyond the safety of the fence, Yuya encountered a perilous scene, a goblin terrorizing soldiers and a terrified girl. With swift action, Yuya intervened, using his skills to defeat the goblin and protect the girl. Though injured, Yuya's concern for the girl lingered, even as he returned to his world. As he reflected on his adventures, he resolved to check on her well-being. Realizing his need for new attire, Yuya embarked on a shopping spree, attracting attention wherever he went. However, he was interrupted by the manager who mistook him for the model they had been waiting for. Before he knew it, Yuya was swept into a photo shoot with Neil, spending the entire afternoon posing and adjusting to the unfamiliar environment. But being in such close proximity to Miu, the female lead of the shoot, proved challenging for Yuya in more ways than one. Sensing his discomfort, Miu offered her support, though her actions inadvertently caused Yuya to choke on his drink. Despite the awkward moment, Yuya admired Miu's professionalism and determination. As the shoot progressed, Yuya found himself questioning Miu's motivations for becoming a model. In a candid conversation, Miu revealed her longing to be seen and acknowledged, a sentiment Yuya could relate to. Moved by her honesty, Yuya marveled at the dedication of those who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to create the finished product. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Shu, a rival model, who disrupted the shoot with his aggressive behavior towards Miu. Yuya intervened, defending Miu against Shu's advances and earning the admiration of the onlookers, who sided with him over Shu. Despite the chaos, Yuya remained grounded in his humility and integrity, declining the manager's offer to become a model. Instead, he accepted a gift of clothes as payment, acknowledging the value of honesty and responsibility in a world driven by appearances. As Yuya and Miu parted ways, they reflected on the day's events, finding humor in their shared experiences. Meanwhile, back in the other world, Yuya's heroic actions caught the attention of Lexia, the princess of the kingdom of Arcelia. Lexia, intrigued by Yuya's bravery, sought him out, expressing her gratitude and admiration. However, their meeting was cut short by the arrival of Owen, Lexia's guard, who informed Yuya of an invitation from the king. Though overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events, Yuya accepted the invitation, eager to embark on a new adventure. As Yuya returned to his world, he pondered the events of the day and the challenges that lay ahead. Despite the uncertainty, one thing was clear. His journey was far from over, and he was ready to face whatever obstacles came his way, armed with courage, humility, and the support of newfound friends. Inside his home, Yuya writes down the date for meeting the king and realizes that today is his first day at the academy. He leaves the house, and on his way to school, two girls think he's hot. His striking appearance draws everyone's attention, making it difficult for him to blend in. The principal formally welcomes him to the school and tells him to enjoy his life there. In anatomy class, Yuya manages to keep his composure this time. During soccer, Ryo outclasses all the players on the field, scoring an incredible goal. Yuya is amazed by Ryo's pure skill. A girl from behind remarks on Ryo's abilities and asks Yuya if he's just watching alone. She introduces herself as Kaede. Ryo dribbles the ball past the players and passes it to Akira, who rushes forward to score. However, Akira completely misses, and the ball heads straight towards Kaede's face. In an instant, Yuya channels his supreme agility, shooting the ball from a tight angle and scoring the goal. The players are shocked. Yuya, like Prince Charming, approaches Kaede, asking if she's okay and offering his hand. She takes it, and Akira comes over, apologizing profusely. Kaede assures him she's fine because of Yuya. Ryo introduces Akira to Yuya, and Akira thanks him for saving both of them. Inside the plot armory, the girls think Yuya is some secretive prince. Kaori arrives, asking what Yuya did this time. Kaede explains how Yuya jumped in midair and skillfully redirected the ball away from her face. Kaori wonders what Kaede is talking about, and Eugene offers to help her take a trip if she wants. All the girls gush over how cool Yuya is and wonder if he has a girlfriend. Both Kaori and Kaede scream that he doesn't. During class, Yuya looks outside the window and sees Kaori waving at him, so he waves back. Suddenly, a group of bikers break through the gate, scaring all the girls. They're the Red Ogres, some of the most dangerous delinquents, including Yuya's siblings, who have brought the bikers to mess with Kaori for looking down on them. The leader commands the guys to grab Kaori and leave. Realizing how dire the situation is, Yuya decides to step in and save her. Yuya's legs trembled with fear as he faced the daunting prospect of confronting his brother and sister, the leaders of the Red Ogres gang. Despite the overwhelming anxiety that threatened to paralyze him, Yuya summoned all his resolve. Instead of succumbing to fear, with determination in his heart, Yuya leapt out of the window and sprinted towards Araki, the bully who had tormented him for years. Araki, taken aback by Yuya's sudden boldness, ordered his lackeys to attack, but Yuya moved with blinding speed, effortlessly dodging their blows and disarming them. Araki attempted to take matters into his own hands, but Yuya's reflexes were too quick. In a breathtaking display of skill, Yuya incapacitated a giant sumo wrestler and thwarted a biker's attempt to run him over. As chaos erupted around them, Yuya's focus remained on protecting Kaori. He shielded her from harm, displaying a level of bravery that astonished even his own siblings. In a moment of desperation, Yuya confronted the Red Ogre's leader, facing him down with unwavering resolve. Despite the danger he faced, Yuya refused to abandon his family, demonstrating compassion and forgiveness even in the face of their past cruelty. His words of forgiveness brought tears to their eyes, revealing the depth of their remorse. Days later, Yuya found himself embarking on a new adventure, exploring the dangerous depths of the forest once more. There, he encountered a helpless puppy being attacked by a monstrous orc. Unable to ignore the creature's plight, Yuya intervened, saving the puppy and gaining a loyal companion in the process. Dubbing the puppy Knight, the next day, Yuya tells his friends that he's planning to visit a pet shop. Friday bends over the table, engaging her laser blast sisters in his face, and Yuya reacts, telling her that she's rubbing him the wrong way. Teod steps back and offers to go to the pet shop with him since she's free after school. This is only the second time anyone has wanted to go out with him, and Kaede wonders if this would be considered a date. After a long day, Yuya finally returns home to find Knight looking sad. He shows Knight all the gifts he brought. Wondering if it's uncomfortable, Yuya sees Knight nod his head no, so they head out for a walk. As they walk, girls still open their floodgates when they see Yuya. He stumbles upon Kaori at the park, and she notices his dog. Yuya introduces Knight as the newest member of his family. Kaori asks to pet him, thinking he's the cutest dog she's ever seen. When she asks what breed he is, Yuya panics since he just brought Knight home from the wilderness. Despite this, Kaori realizes that Knight is an extremely smart dog. Suddenly, a girl calls out Yuya's name from behind. A wild Mew has appeared. Kaori wonders if she's the famous model, and Yuya's shadow introduces Mew to Kaori. Knight jumps up and barks hello, making everyone in the park jealous of the attention he's getting. Mew asks Yuya if he's going to keep taking walks there because she wants to keep seeing him. Kaori overhears their conversation, and the sadness inside her continues to grow. Eventually, Yuya leaves, and Kaori tries to ask if he and Mew are dating. Yuya tells her they aren't, thinking he's not good enough for Mew. Just then, an old man screams that a thief has stolen his purse. Yuya releases Knight to chase the thief, surprising Kaori. He grabs Kaori's hand and drags her to the old man to make sure he's okay. Knight returns, dragging the bandit, and Yuya asks Kaori to call the police. The bandit manages to get away from Knight and runs towards Kaori with a knife. Before he can harm her, Yuya grabs his arm and uses his martial arts skills to knock the bandit down, restraining him. The entire park is shocked by Yuya's abilities, and Kaori thanks him for saving her once again. At night, Yuya ventures deeper into the forest to face stronger monsters and level up. He runs forward, leaps off a hill. A giant orc appears before them. Knight charges forward, evading all the orc's attacks, and jumps to bite its shoulder, knocking it down. The monster's body evaporates, and Yuya is pleased to see Knight growing stronger. Deeper in the forest, Yuya stumbles upon a dangerous monster and uses his invisibility right away. He assesses the creature, a level 630 deer. But despite his invisibility, the deer locates his position and charges at him. Knight tries to jump onto its horns to destroy them, but the deer activates its horn's ultimate abilities, releasing fire and ice waves that Yuya barely dodges. This is the strongest monster they've ever faced, so Yuya commands Knight to distract it. Knight's speed forces the deer to use all its magical abilities at once, and while it's on cooldown, Knight bites its neck, and Yuya sinks his spear deep into the deer. The deeper they go into the forest, the more they need to change their tactics, but Yuya finds it perfect for training. Yuya examines the items the deer dropped and is surprised to find a portable bath. Deciding to try it out, He heads home with Night. The portable bath materializes before his eyes, exactly the kind of item Yuya has been wanting. They enjoy a relaxing soak in the hot tub that night. The next night, Yuya battles against a monster resembling Sonic the Hedgehog, which is over level 600. He knows it must have a weakness. The hedgehog readies another attack, but Yuya's reflexes allow him to dodge quickly. While it's stuck, Night kicks it, and Yuya strikes, finally ending the battle. After weeks of training, Yuya has only gained 5 levels, and Night 10. Before heading home, they discover a cave entrance. As they walk deeper, torches light the way, and Night notices a corpse with a notebook titled The Book of the Sage. Yuya wonders if it's the same person who created his house and begins reading. The sage's story unfolds, revealing mastery in everything, from magic to martial arts to cooking. The sage had entered the realm of the gods but declined their invitation. His strength led to people hating him. Yuya keeps reading the sad story and wonders how to avoid such loneliness. The sage's voice responds in his head, advising him to build deep relationships with trusted people. The book grants Yuya knowledge of one thing he wishes to know. Yuya asks to learn magic. The book flashes a golden hue, and the sage's voice explains that since Yuya is from a different world, he lacks the magical pathways needed for casting spells. The sage bestows his own pathways upon Yuya, wishing for someone to carry them on. The book's magical aura strikes Yuya's chest, and the sage's last wish is for Yuya's life to be filled with happiness and fortune. Yuya thanks the sage and wishes him peace. Back home, Yuya spends months learning the words in the sage's text. He meditates, envisioning the elements around him, until he finally unlocks the magic manipulation skill. Night also unlocks the same ability. Yuya reads that casting magic is simple, using imagination. In his backyard, he raises his hand and casts a small water ball. Night successfully casts the spell too. They test their power by launching water balls at the trees, causing all the surrounding trees to collapse. Inside the king's castle, the king asks a soldier if they found the boy who saved his daughter. The soldier confirms but asks the king to be lenient, as the princess proposed marrying the stranger. The king, enraged, destroys the palace, unable to fathom someone stealing his daughter. The next day at school, Yuya ponders the sage's advice to be cautious using magic in the other world. The teacher announces an off-campus study trip for 2 nights of camping. Kaede is thrilled to join Yuya's team, and Akira bestows his noble elegance upon them, adding to the excitement. Yuya nervously introduced himself as Rin entered the chat. Rin, seemingly unimpressed with his introduction, remarked on Yuya's popularity, contrasting him with another individual in the chat. The group, including Rin, embarked on a shopping trip to prepare for their upcoming adventure. As they navigated the mall, Kiori expressed gratitude for being included, while Shingo anticipated a long day ahead. Inside the mall, Kiori suggested they pick out a backpack, prompting playful banter among the group. After a successful day of shopping, the group decided to visit an arcade. Yuya, unfamiliar with crane games, surprised his friends by effortlessly winning a prize on his first try, earning their admiration. Kanye requested Yuya to help her choose a cat, leading to an afternoon of fulfilling his friend's wishes. It was a new experience for Yuya, who found joy in making others happy. Kaori expressed her appreciation for Yuya's kindness, reinforcing his growing reputation among his friends. Later, Ryo suggested they have tea, but the girls opted to shop for clothes on a different floor. As the girls shopped, a wire began to spark, signaling danger. Meanwhile, the guys enjoyed their drinks, with Shingo sensing something amiss. However, Yuya brushed off his concerns, relishing in the joy of spending time with friends. Suddenly, the fire alarm blared, signaling a fire on the upper floors. Yuya, determined to save his friends, rushed upstairs despite warnings from the management. Upon reaching the 13th floor, he found the girls unconscious in the bathroom. With quick thinking and his magical abilities, Yuya rescued them just in time. However, the exit was blocked, forcing Yuya to use his magic to create an escape route. His bravery and quick action saved everyone, earning him the gratitude of Kaori's father and the admiration of his friends. As he walked home, thoughts of Kaori's embrace lingered in his mind, prompting reflections on the meaning of family. Back at home, Yuya continued his training, honing his magical abilities alongside Luna, a fellow adventurer. Together, they faced dangerous foes and grew stronger with each battle. Yuya admired Luna's passion and determination, vowing to protect her on their journey. Their training was interrupted when they encountered a girl in distress, surrounded by goblins. With Knight's help, they defeated the goblins and rescued the girl, Luna. Luna introduced herself, and Yuya asked why she was in such a dangerous place alone. She claimed she was training but had messed up and gotten ambushed by goblins. Attempting to change the topic, she asked Yuya why he was in the dangerous parts of the forest. Yuya, struggling to find a plausible reason, said he was also just training. Luna was surprised that someone else would train there but was relieved they were both there for the same reason. She quickly added that she wasn't doing anything suspicious. Thanking him for carrying her away when she was so filthy, Luna expressed a wish for a place to clean up before heading to town. Yuya offered her a bath, and she was amazed by the rare item. He explained he got it from a crystal deer, a feat she had never heard anyone achieve, now understanding why he trained in such areas. Luna tried to mention she was there on a customer's request, but Yuya didn't hear her, so she pretended she hadn't said anything. Luna then asked if Yuya could train with her for mutual safety. Realizing she would risk her life alone, Yuya decided to stick with her to protect her. Excited, she emerged from behind the curtains and teasingly told him to get used to seeing her like this so he could penetrate her defenses with his sword. Knight reminisced about his days as an alpha, getting all the women but went to sleep, relieved he no longer had to deal with such headaches. The next morning, Yuya trained with Luna, with Knight rushing in to support them. Their training continued for several days, and they grew stronger together, their coordination improving with each battle. Yuya redirected a goblin towards Luna, who chopped its arm off, leaving it for Knight to finish. Yuya was grateful to have such a strong partner, though Luna humbly credited his skill with Knight for their success. Yuya had always admired her strength with her threads since they met, but Luna insisted she needed to become stronger to complete her mission. Yuya was surprised by her passion, but Luna informed him they wouldn't be able to train for a while. That night, Yuya took his bath first, wondering why they had changed their usual order. Luna came up from behind, explaining they would bathe together. Climbing into the bath, she hugged him, thanking him for helping her despite her selfishness. Because of Yuya, she was able to grow and see a brighter world for the first time in years. She treasured these moments and offered to wash his back. As she got up, Yuya, overwhelmed, blurted out that the white stuff in the bathtub was just shampoo. Realizing what it actually was, Luna looked at him in surprise, and Knight watched, amused by the situation. On the bus to the trip, Yuya played cards with his friends, yawning after a long night of plot development. He struggled to stay awake but managed to win every single card game. As he tried to sleep on the bus, he wondered if his extremely high luck stats were the reason for his winning streak. Though it wasn't on purpose, he felt like it was cheating. Yuya also wondered if this cheat skill was the reason he was able to get close to Luna but dismissed the thought. After a long journey, they finally arrived, and the girls woke him up. The teacher immediately instructed everyone to get ready and explained the situation. They would be camping on their own for 2 nights and had to gather food from the forest and lake by themselves. One of Yuya's friends, Tayad, worried if it was dangerous to judge wild food without any experience. The teacher reassured them that they would be informed if things were safe, and even if they got poisoned, the nurse would cure them. A suspicious woman appeared, telling them not to worry because her miracle elixir could heal all of them. Akira joked that they might as well starve for a day, but the teacher revealed that their performance in this competition would affect the teacher's raises. To top it off, they had to sleep inside the forest because the hotel was just for the teachers. Deep in the forest, Yuya and his team tried to figure out how to put up a tent. Akira boasted that his elegant skills would make fishing as easy as pie. Yuya and Kaede found themselves assigned the task of fishing, leaving Akira feeling downcast and neglected. As they joined their classmates at the river, they pondered the challenge of catching fish in shallow waters. Yuya, drawing on Luna's teachings, employed his knowledge of monster behavior to his advantage, catching fish with his bare hands. Meanwhile, Luna, in a shop filled with dolls, demonstrated her newfound strength by effortlessly dismantling their skulls with her strings. Despite her proficiency, she couldn't shake the feeling of regret for her past actions. Back at the river, Rin teased Yuya about his abilities, while Akira voiced his frustration at being mistreated. However, a surprising revelation about Akira's title brought relief and camaraderie among the group. Later, Yuya skillfully prepared a feast from the gathered food, impressing everyone with his culinary skills. The teacher's praise boosted Yuya's confidence, but a sudden confession from her left him bewildered. Despite the confusion, they enjoyed the meal, with Yuya's cooking earning rave reviews from all. The next morning brought a crisis when a giant bear attacked the camp, destroying tents and causing chaos. Yuya, displaying remarkable strength and agility, saved Miss Sawada from the bear's attack, earning her admiration and a surprising proposal. The bear was subdued and repurposed as a guard, concluding their eventful off-campus trip. Back home, Yuya prepared to meet the king, only to find himself embroiled in a tense confrontation with Luna, who revealed her true identity and intentions. A heartfelt conversation with Luna and Lexia shed light on Luna's troubled past and her uncertain future. Lexia's offer of protection and Luna's acceptance marked a turning point in their relationship. As they reconciled, Luna revealed the secret of Yuya's magical bath drops, sparking excitement and laughter. Despite the awkwardness, their bond grew stronger, paving the way for new adventures and unexpected alliances. As Yuya bathed with Lexia and Luna, the tension between them escalated. Lexia, curious about Luna's feelings for Yuya, accidentally fell into the water, prompting Luna to deny any romantic interest and insist they were just friends. Lexia, unconvinced by Luna's denials, proposed that she could marry Yuya if they were truly just friends, but Luna rejected the idea, realizing she had inadvertently revealed her true emotions. When Lexia declared war over Yuya's affection, Luna accepted the challenge, determined to win his heart. Later, as Yuya prepared dinner, Lexia's attempts at cooking ended disastrously, leading Yuya to take charge of the meal. The trio enjoyed Yuya's cooking, but tensions simmered beneath the surface. After dinner, Luna and Lexia vied for Yuya's attention, each hoping to monopolize his affections. Luna's injury provided her with an excuse to request Yuya's assistance, leading to a playful competition between her and Lexia. The evening ended with Yuya feeling overwhelmed by their antics. The next morning, Yuya encountered Owen, the guard from the previous day's bear attack, and apologized for their ordeal. Lexia revealed Luna's true identity, prompting suspicion from Owen, but Lexia defended Luna and convinced him to let her go. Yuya then informed Owen of his impending return to school, leaving the guard incredulous. As Yuya bid farewell to Luna, Lexia's jealousy flared, but Luna surprised everyone by kissing Yuya on the cheek, declaring her thanks and her intention to win his affection. Lexia pleaded with Owen to stop the carriage, but Luna's bold move left her speechless. Alone at home, Yuya pondered Luna's kiss, deciding to focus on the peaceful moments ahead. As he bathed with Knight Inosuke's cousin, a chance encounter with a powerful boar, Yuya appraised the stats of the little boar and noticed it was level 490 with a special skill called Holy Ground. Curious about its effects, he asked the boar to activate it. A magical dome appeared around them, and Yuya felt his whole body become lighter. Impressed by the boar's ability, he decided to give it a name. Since its skin resembled the color of a sunrise, he named it Akatsuki, which means dawn in Japanese. Just then, Yuya realized Knight was missing, only for him to return with a watch, reminding Yuya he was about to be late for school. Yuya barely made it to class as the bells rang. The teacher introduced a new competition. They would be competing with balls, and the results would affect her bonus. She implored them to fight as if their lives depended on it. The first game was soccer, and Yuya took his position as the goalkeeper. As the match began, Rio easily bypassed the opponents and scored a goal right off the bat. Ren, seeking to further their lead, asked Taya to start jumping. The distraction worked as all the men lost focus, but Akira remained determined and only cared about Yuya's performance. Seizing the ball, he rushed forward and shot a curveball. Yuya, having graduated from an off-brand blue lock, saved the shot with such speed it seemed he had teleported. Rio instructed Yuya to throw the ball as far and hard as he could. Gathering all his power, Yuya sent a strike straight into the enemy's net. He wondered if it counted as a point, leaving everyone amazed that this was his main concern. After school, a limousine awaited Yuya, and a man handed him an invitation to join the entertainment industry. Politely, Yuya declined, stating he enjoyed his high school life too much. The manager was astonished that a teenager would reject such an offer, while Yuya's friends were shocked to see him associated with the hottest model, Miu. The assistant showed them the latest magazine featuring Yuya and Miu, leaving them puzzled about when it was taken. The manager, frustrated with her assistant for not securing Yuya, noticed a flyer about the ball sports competition. She had a brilliant idea. If she could infiltrate the prestigious academy and capture Yuya playing, it would make for a best-selling story. With this plan, she aimed to take photos of him without his consent. Before leaving, Miu flashed her glasses, leaving an impression. Deep in the forest, Knight cast his waterfall spell, and Yuya leapt to slash down at a skeleton. As the skeleton prepared one final attack, Yuya ended the battle with his sword. Despite all this training, he felt his fluidity in switching between physical and magical attacks was still lacking. Determined to get stronger, he decided to keep training, knowing there was always room for improvement. Suddenly, a massive boar, much larger than Akatsuki, charged at Yuya, sending him crashing into a tree. It was a level 10 mithril boar. Yuya yelled at his companions to stay back as he reached for a healing potion. The boar continued its relentless assault, not giving him a moment to heal. Just as the boar charged for a final attack, a voice from the darkness declared it would help Yuya. A flash of light kicked the boar away, revealing a white rabbit as the source of the strength. The rabbit unleashed a magical wave that dispersed throughout the forest, destroying the hard black trees. Yuya, amazed by the rabbit's power, appraised it and saw it was a level 4 kick rabbit. The rabbit commanded Yuya and his companions to show their kicks. Akatsuki confidently went first but was quickly dismissed by the rabbit, saying there was less hope there than finding a girlfriend. Emotional damage indeed. Knight stepped up next, and the rabbit saw some potential. Finally, Yuya demonstrated his kick, which brought a smile to the rabbit's face. The rabbit then showed them what a proper kick looked like, sending a ripple of wind that penetrated 4 hard black trees. It instructed Yuya to practice this new move all night. After hours of intense training, Yuya finally took down a tree with just the wind of his kick. The bunny then jumped towards him, initiating a sparring session. Days passed as they continued sparring, and Yuya began to wonder why they were doing all this training. The bunny revealed that it had chosen Yuya to be its successor. In this world, it was the divine's duty to train apprentices and pass on their techniques. These beings had mastered their fields and protected the world from the vile, physical incarnations of malice that crystallized and sought to harm innocent lives. Yuya wondered if he could reject becoming a divine visionary. The bunny explained that while he could refuse the title, the equilibrium would shift, and battling the vile would become inevitable. The only way to protect more lives was by having more allies. The bunny saw no limits to Yuya's talents and chose him as the next divine successor. Despite the daunting responsibility, Yuya expressed his desire not to bear the title but to protect all the people he had met in this world. He wished to continue training. Impressed by Yuya's determination, the rabbit agreed to continue training him on the condition that Yuya would teach him magic as well. The barrier that blocked the strongest creatures from entering the world was a miracle of magic, and the bunny begged Yuya to train under him. Yuya agreed, looking forward to learning from each other. One day, Yuya found himself running for his life from a level 3 king mithril boar. This was his chance for revenge. He told the rabbit that the vial they would eventually face were much stronger than this creature. Even though it was incredibly powerful, Yuya used his weapon succession skill with his spear to crush the boar. After finally defeating the enemy, Knight and Akatsuki rushed to congratulate him, and Yuya saw all the SS rank items that had just dropped, feeling a sense of accomplishment and readiness for whatever challenges lay ahead. A system status appears, notifying Yuya that he has reached a critical level where his species can now evolve. This is one of the rarest occurrences for a human. At school, the ball competition is about to begin, and the manager informs Yuya that she has prepared a special challenge for him. A giant man appears, and Yuya thinks this guy doesn't look like a typical high school student. The assistant recruited him after he became the national tournament champion. People call him the sniper. With a single serve, the sniper sends the ball flying past Yuya, who recognizes the energy but thinks this guy is nothing compared to the monsters from the other world. Yuya swings at the ball hard enough to create a hole in the table and asks to withdraw from the match. Wondering when the show will get any budget, Kaede runs in to finally spend this episode's funds. She begs Yuya to play volleyball with her, and the manager drags the cameraman to the volleyball arena. All the guys think it'll be an easy game with Yuya on their team, but once the game begins, the show loses 20% more budget and they also lose an entire gymnasium. The enemy withdraws, and Yuya's teams continue dominating the matches. The manager gets angrier because Kaede is spending the show's budget and their camera company's net worth. Yuya feels down, but they hear a man screaming as Kaori leaves the match. She runs to Yuya, begging him to take her teammate's spot. First responders take the teammate away, and he warns Yuya to watch out for the serve. The opponents think Yuya will soon suffer the same fate. Kaori serves the ball but completely misses. Yuya reassures her that her second serve will be fine, but the opponent's serve is out to kill. Yuya finally identifies which server he needs to be careful of. The enemy team serves, and the ball nearly flies out of bounds, but Yuya sends it back to their court, countering all their attacks. He jumps high to keep the ball in play, and Kaori thinks she will finally be useful, but the ball flies behind her. Yuya manages to secure their victory and stops Kaori from falling. The manager secures all the photos she needs. After the match, Yuya finds Kaori standing next to a pole. She asks him to come over, wanting to thank him for saving her once again. Yuya tells her that she doesn't need to do anything because just being with her makes him happy. Surprised, she asks him to close his eyes. As she gets closer, Yuya notices the nicest smell he has ever encountered. When he asks what she did, she tells him it's a secret. Meanwhile, deep in the forest at night, the rabbit narrowly holds off and casts magic to attack the vial in front of him. The vial wonders how Usagi can use magic, but the rabbit reveals he is still learning under Yuya. With this new information, the vial revises the target for elimination, giving Yuya a threat level of great for being the master of a divine. Back home, Yuya and Kaori are alone. Yuya struggles to write, feeling overwhelmed with upcoming exams, particularly math. Noticing his stress, Kaori has a genius idea and asks if she can come over to study at his house. That's how she ended up here. After studying for a while, Kaori got up and asked Yuya to use the bathroom. As she walked into the other room, Yuya felt nervous because it was his first time having a girl over. He realized she didn't know where the bathroom was. On the other side of the door, she discovered the entrance to another world. Yuya ran to call out for her. She apologized for not knowing where the bathroom was, but said she felt like something was calling her to this room. Hearing this, Yuya decided to reveal the truth about his door, explaining it was connected to another world. He asked her to put her hand up to the door, but she was unable to cross through. Seeing the barrier's reaction, Yuya finally solved the problem of strangers entering the world, but he still needed to address Kaori's curiosity. She wondered what he meant by another world, so Yuya explained it was a place where magic and super abilities existed. He demonstrated the water magic he'd learned, showing how he saved her all those times, including defeating delinquents and rescuing her from the burning building. Kaori realized how strange it was that he could do all that. Yuya extended his arm and asked if she wanted to see the other world. Yuya explained that Night was a black fenrir and Akatsuki was from the Majo species, similar to the pig family. As Kaori got up, her status system appeared, and Yuya explained it measured her various abilities. He noticed her stats were 10 times higher than when he first started. During his first day in this world, he was at the very bottom, but after leveling up, he lost weight, gained muscle, and transformed his entire appearance. It was as if he had unlocked a cheat skill because his past self was someone most people wouldn't accept. Kaori didn't want to be reminded of him being an ugly fat disguster. She only wanted to see more of this world, but Yuya said it would be too dangerous to explore today with all the monsters surrounding them in the forest. She begged him to promise they would adventure together some other time, and Yuya promised. He asked her to keep this a secret between them, and Kaori promised, thinking it would make their relationship special. At the royal castle, the king was glad to see his daughter but wanted to know why the man from the forest didn't appear today. Owen apologized, explaining that many things came up. The king wondered if a new girl was involved. Luna revealed she had been about to assassinate Lexia, which interrupted Yuya's schedule. The king was shocked to hear this and wondered how Luna was still alive after failing her mission. In response, he grabbed his sword and promised to bring her death. He leapt toward her, but Luna stopped his attack, revealing that she knew his legendary sword would cut through her defenses, so she restrained his arms. Luna screamed at her father, saying she hated him when he acted this way. Lexia intervened, saying it was her decision to make Luna her bodyguard, and asked her father to respect her choice. The king, affected by his daughter's words, commanded Luna to become her bodyguard. After being released, the king realized he couldn't stand his own daughter hating him and asked Owen to learn more about Luna's background. Owen revealed she was from the Dark Guild, the infamous headhunter. After Yuya caught her, Luna and Lexia spent the night at his house. The king was shocked to hear his daughter stayed at another man's house and, in a fit of rage, slashed his chair. Though Yuya saved Lexia, the king vowed Yuya would be his sword's next victim, screaming in agony at the thought of what they might have done that night. In the Dark Guild's tavern, their leader learned of Luna's failure to assassinate Lexia and heard news of the headhunter being taken hostage in the castle. He decided it was time for Lexia and the king to disappear, believing it was only a matter of time before he would become king. Now it's time to reveal his trump card, a magic sealing barrier. With this item, they plan to infiltrate the castle, preventing any magicians from defending the king. If things go south, they'll just pin the blame on Yuya. Using his void bow, he eliminated a rare sheep, and among the rare drops, he found the paradise bed. After hours of travel, Yuya finally reached his first city in this new world. Seeing all the beast women with tails made it finally feel real that he was in another world. However, he needed to make some money first. Inside a pawn shop, the merchant saw Yuya's appearance and thought he was an upper-class noble, but Yuya insisted he was just a regular person. The merchant asked what he was trying to trade and was shocked when Yuya showed him his item box. From it, Yuya took out a bunch of spices. The merchant was astounded by the exquisite glasses Yuya placed on the table. Despite dealing with a variety of products over the years, this was the first time the merchant had seen such high-quality items. He offered to buy them for 100 gold coins. Yuya wondered how much the coins were worth, and the merchant explained that in this country, 5 of these coins could allow a family of 4 to live a wealthy life for a year. Realizing he had just missed out on the greatest crypto scam opportunity of his life, the merchant then gave Yuya a guild card so he could be identified in this country, looking forward to doing business with him again in the future. At night, Yuya continued traveling toward the royal capital, and by morning, he finally arrived. Akatsuki pointed him towards the castle. Upon arrival, Owen escorted him, explaining they would be entering the audience room. Yuya was shocked to hear he would be meeting the king because he hadn't prepared any special clothes. However, Owen comforted him, saying it was just an unofficial audience. As they enter the room together, Yuya sees Lexia and Luna standing next to each other. He bows to the king, but the king tells him to raise his head and asks if he was the man who saved Lexia. Despite acknowledging this, the king doesn't care and screams that he will eliminate the bastard who seduced his daughter. Owen tries to calm him down, but the king also promises to execute Owen for insubordination. After their heated exchange, the king introduces himself as Arnold. Yuya tries to introduce himself in return, but the king is displeased that Yuya didn't bring a present for Lexia. Yuya apologizes, saying it didn't cross his mind, but he thinks he has the perfect gift. He takes out the paradise bed from the void box. Lexia loves his boldness, and the king approaches him, asking if he's trying to bring his daughter to a world of paradise. Misinterpreting Yuya's gift as a marriage proposal, the king is ready to execute him. Owen intervenes, explaining that Yuya probably didn't know the customs of their country, where giving a bed to a woman is equivalent to a marriage proposal. The king is furious and promises that Yuya will become his sword's rust. As he rushes to slash at Yuya, a group of assassins surrounds them. The king commands the guards to fire, but the assassins activate the magic ceiling barrier, nullifying their attacks. The assassins try to attack the royal family, but Owen and Lexia hold a few off while Yuya, Akatsuki, and Knight neutralize the others. The assassin leader tries to slash at Yuya, but Yuya delivers a gut punch, knocking him down. Lexia runs to hug Yuya, wanting to know what else his hands can do. Luna reminds him that he's getting awfully bold, and they see the king pointing his sword at him again. After restraining all the assassins, Owen discovers a crest among them, the Riger crest, which belongs to Lexia's brother. Given the circumstances, Owen begs Yuya to lend his support as the entire country is in danger. While the king is alone in his room, Yuya wonders what he should do about Owen's request. He decides to walk up to the door, but before he can open it, Lexia appears and asks if she can show him around the capital. With the show's budget likely exhausted after Kaori's scenes, Luna talks to them without any animation, literally frozen in time and space. Luna insists on accompanying them because she suspects Lexia plans to make moves on Yuya. Lexia says she just wants to show Yuya around town, but Luna argues, escalating to who will show Yuya their plot first. Owen intervenes with a genius idea, saying he'll show Yuya his Excalibur because it's more interesting than their flat surfboard bodies. Both women reject his plan. Inside the town, Owen watches over them from a distance. Lexia begs Yuya to take her to the mall, but Luna is more interested in seeing the blacksmith's long swords. Yuya is unsure what to do, so they begin a plot contest with his arms, making all the men in town jealous. Yuya doesn't feel any bloodlust from their gazes, only sensing the blood rushing elsewhere. As they walk around town, Yuya sees the Adventurers Guild emblem, and Luna asks if he's interested in joining. He reveals that he registered with a merchant guild on his way here, so he might as well register with the Adventurers Guild since he's been hunting so many monsters. Luna prioritizes registering him because, with his license, he will be able to make much more money from trading monster materials. Lexia is impressed, seeing this as a gold-digging opportunity, but Yuya tells her that she's uglier than Kaori anyway. Luna walks away to register with Yuya, and Lexia asks why she's registering when she's supposed to be her bodyguard. Luna explains that in her free time, she wants to make extra money, so Lexia should just register with them if she wants to be alone with Yuya. Lexia runs after them. Inside the guild, Lexia draws everyone's attention by screaming that she won't let them be alone together, but Luna says she's just trying to protect Yuya. The receptionist hands them the guild registration papers, and Yuya wonders if he has to register both of his pets. The receptionist says he doesn't need to. As Yuya fills out the form, he sees a question about his magic types. He decides to list wind, fire, and water as the only types he's mastered, thinking that saying he's mastered all categories would conflict with their common knowledge. Another question asks about his magic energy capacity, and the receptionist explains they use a magic ball to measure it. Yuya wonders if he could just write down the number from his status window, But the receptionist reveals that most adventurers hide their true powers, so they must use the crystal. Luna measures her capacity, and the crystal ball glows yellow, though she admits she's never been skilled in magic. Yuya wonders what level yellow indicates and puts his hand on the sphere. Instantly, the sphere lights up and breaks. The receptionist is amazed by his magical power, and Luna wonders if his seed is as potent as his magic. The receptionist asks Luna if she uses any other types of weapons, but Luna says that threads are the only weapons she can control. When the receptionist looks at Yuya's report, she notices he can use 3 different types of magic, which is rare and puts him in the realm of legendary heroes. Yuya was relieved he didn't reveal that he's mastered all types of magic. The receptionist asked if he only used spears and swords, and Yuya confirmed this. She processed their papers, and soon their 2 black guild cards appeared. She informed them that they would start at F rank and asked them not to over-collect herbs on gathering quests to prevent the plants from disappearing from the area. The receptionist introduced herself as Roxanne. Lexia asked if there were any quests for her first adventure, when suddenly, Isekai and Ms. Sawada appeared, calling him a handsome man. She asked if he would like to join her for an adventure, wishing for a horse ride with his long, hard sword. The girls struggled to compete with her presence. She introduced herself as Galena and walked off. Luna and Lexia were angry that their charms didn't distract Yuya as much as Glena's did. In the field, Yuya began collecting healing herbs to complete their quest, using his overpowered skills to harvest them efficiently. Lexia enjoyed gathering herbs and challenged Luna to a competition to see who could gather the most, with the winner developing a plot with Yuya. They ran off, leaving Yuya to wonder where Owen had disappeared to. Owen returned, saying they had found the prince's location. They rode their horses to an isolated cabin deep in the woods. As they tried to enter, a knife was thrown at one of the guards. Yuya rushed in, seeing the prince holding a knife to a soldier. He called Knight to bite the prince's arm, freeing the soldier. The prince, wearing a mask, tried to escape, but Yuya and his companions cornered him. The prince went berserk, destroying furniture. Yuya teleported and destroyed his dreams, dodging every strike until he knocked the prince down with Akatsuki's help. The guards restrained the prince, and Owen congratulated Akatsuki for tripping him up. As they were ready to take the prince away, a whirlwind exploded the wall, and a girl appeared, analyzing the situation and declaring the prince's plan a failure. She revealed her true aim was to start as many wars as possible. Owen tried to attack her, but an arrow parried his strike. Yuya noticed the arrow's trajectory, realizing it came from outside, but the girl cast a rain of arrows, claiming she could predict their moves. Yuya summoned an energy barrier, rendering the arrows useless. The girl, recognizing Yuya's name, decided to retreat, exhausted from using her power. As the soldiers treated each other, Yuya wondered about the girl's identity, thinking she could be a valuable addition to his harem. At sunset, Kaori rang Yuya's doorbell, but no one was home. Inside the castle, Yuya pondered who the girl could have been. Owen invited Yuya to Riger's hearing. As they walked, Lexia worried about her brother. In the main room, Riger struggled against the guards. When they removed his mask, his scarred body was revealed. Even his father looked away in disgust. Riger accused Lexia of forcing him into this state, recounting the years of pain from her magic outburst that led him to self-mutilation. His family had cast him away, and he had been isolated in a cell. Consumed by hatred, he wished to annihilate them. Riger's words reminded Yuya of his own painful past. Riger begged for execution, but Yuya asked to use a special item, pulling out a potion from his item box. He applied it to Riger's face, healing his wounds instantly. Riger ran to inspect his healed face, astonished. Yuya explained it was a medicine he created from his cure-all herb, much to the room's amazement. The king asked why Yuya would sacrifice such a valuable item, and Yuya revealed he was growing hundreds of them, effectively crashing the economy. Despite his injuries being healed, Riger knew his death sentence was. However, Lexia spoke up, telling her father that she forgives her brother for attempting to assassinate her. After all, she was the victim, and it was as simple as saying she forgives him, just like she forgave Luna. She added that it was their fault for neglecting the Dark Guild until now. The king mentioned he was also attacked, but Lexia insisted he forgive his son, urging him to mend their family. Reluctantly, the king agreed. Lexia smiled at her brother, expressing her hope for reconciliation. Once Ryger's sentencing was over, he thanked Yuya. The king wondered what Yuya's reward might be. Lexia offered herself, asking Yuya to marry her. Luna also proposed, claiming that marrying someone like Lexia would be a curse, not a reward. Amidst the chaos, Ryger suggested an alternative reward. The king decided to grant Yuya all of Ryger's mansions and lands, along with the title of Knight Baron. Yuya, feeling overwhelmed by the unoriginal turn of events, decided to take a nap. In his dreams, he was haunted by the battle against the mysterious enemy known as the Vile, whose arrows crushed him under their weight. Waking up with a start, he realized how daunting the upcoming fight would be. After a long day at school, Yuya's classmates invited him to hang out, but he declined, rushing home. On his way, Kaori asked if she could come over, but Yuya, lost in thought, rudely declined. As he ran home, he recalled Ryger's account of how he met the girl who possessed unimaginable powers and called herself the Vile. Determined to prepare, Yuya began training immediately upon returning home, unsure if he was ready to face her. Just then, Knight started growling, sensing a powerful magical presence. Yuya realized the Vile had arrived and confronted her, demanding to know why she was intent on eliminating him. She revealed her desire for revenge, and Yuya vowed to defeat her to uncover the truth. A rain of arrows descended upon him, cornering him in her deadly trap. Meanwhile, Kaori rang Yuya's doorbell. When no one answered, she decided to enter, reassuring herself that she didn't want to see him in the bath or anything like that. Noticing the open gate to the other world, she remembered Yuya's warnings about dangerous monsters in the forest. Hearing massive explosions in the distance, she realized the Vile was attacking Yuya with explosive arrows. Yuya, dodging her relentless attacks, wondered what he had done to deserve her wrath. Yuya's armor transformed into a brilliant white as he closed the distance, kicking her upward. From above, Knight smashed her into the ground. Amazed by their prowess, she begged her master for strength and unleashed an arrow that exploded, devastating the area. Yuya was forced to retreat, but Kaori screamed his name. White-haired Kaori noticed her in the distance but chose to ignore her. Arrows nearly struck Kaori, curving at the last moment to target Yuya. The backlash from her previous attack left him vulnerable, and she launched her comet attack. In that instant, Usagi appeared, deflecting the attack and apologizing for his lateness. He had been busy digging for carrots. Being a bunny, he revealed her name, Yuri, the successor of the divine archer. Yuri, driven by revenge for her master's betrayal and death by humanity, swore to eliminate everyone in this world. She wasn't bound by the same morals as her master and began her assault anew. Yuya dodged her attacks, with Usagi encouraging him to use his legs. Yuya missed his counterattack and was nearly blown away by her arrows. Her predictive powers allowed her to shoot ahead of their movements, launching a tornado towards him. Seeing an opening from Usagi's attack, Yuya destroyed her arrows head-on. As she was distracted, Knight bit her from behind, and Usagi kicked her into the ground. With her back crushed, she vowed this would not be her end until she avenged her master and destroyed all humans. The full power of the Vile was unleashed, and her evil god magic consumed her body, launching a ferocious attack on Usagi. Yuya wondered how he could possibly withstand her onslaught. Just then, Akatsuki emerged from his invisible cloak and ran to the center of the battlefield. He cast his ultimate ability, enveloping the field in a blue worm-like barrier that stripped away all of Yuri's power. Usagi realized Akatsuki was no ordinary pig. With Yuri's powers nullified, Yuya teleported behind her, knocking her unconscious but catching her before she hit the ground. After the battle, Usagi explained that others in this world could oppose the Vile, and Akatsuki was one of them. As for what to do with Yuri, Usagi left the decision to Yuya. Akatsuki's power had drained all her energy. As Yuri began to wake up, Yuya asked about the divine archer. She described him as a kind man overflowing with love before falling asleep again. Kaori finally arrived, only to be attacked by a giant pig, which Yuya eliminated instantly. Walking past her, he asked if she was surprised to see his other life. He explained that in his previous life, he was not someone everyone wanted, but now he was an overpowered man with a cheat skill. Kaori reassured him that he hadn't changed and thanked him for saving her once again.